Today on a special episode of Quality Digest Live, we bring you exclusive coverage from the 3D Systems booth here at IMTS.
That's right, and we'll be looking at the latest manufacturing trends, bringing you a great interview and a technical demo too, so all of that when we come back. This episode of Quality Digest Live is sponsored by 3D Systems.
Well, welcome back to Quality Digest Live for September 13th, 2016. QDL, of course, your weekly look at who and what is making the news in the world of quality. I'm Mike Richmond, publisher of Quality Digest.
Yeah, that you are. And I'm Quality Digest Editor-in-Chief, Dirk Bouchard. Well, welcome to the first of 3 live broadcasts from the IMTS show here in Chicago. And if you want to spend all day geeking out to the latest manufacturing, measurement, and related hardware and software, this is pretty much the place to go. It happens every 2 years,
That's right.
And this is the 31st edition of the premier manufacturing technology show in North America. More than 2,400 exhibiting companies fill 1.3 million square feet of exhibit space at the McCormick Place complex in Chicago. IMTS is held every even-numbered year in Chicago and attracts more than 114,000 buyers. 114,000 buyers and sellers from more than 112 countries. And, despite the sometimes gloomy news you hear on manufacturing in the United States, IMTS has actually seen year-over-year growth for the last 6 shows. Registration of 86,000 in 2004 to about 144,000 this year. I mean, that is actually pretty phenomenal when you think about everybody's talking about the gloom and doom, and this show is bustling.
It definitely dispels that rumor, and you know what you're going to see in this enormous conference center, and it is, I think it's the U.S.'s biggest convention center. I think it's the biggest one in the country. But you're going to see everything from abrasive machining to sawing, finishing to additive manufacturing, and that's, of course, the specialty of our sponsor today, 3D Systems. You're also going to see CAD/CAM software, gear generation, machine components, tool holding, and a lot more. I mean, you can walk here all day and not see even that much of it.
It takes you all day just to cross it.
It's crazy. And of course, where we are right here in the east section, everything related to quality assurance here in the East Lakeside Center. So that's, of course, why we're here at the show.
Yeah, and really, there's so much to talk about, but just one thing I want to point out, just walking the show, the one thing that is really becoming evident when within metrology equipment is the move toward robotic handling of 3D measuring equipment. We know this has been on the rise. We've seen it just with the vendors that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, but it really is evident here. And by robotic handling, we mean using an industrial robot such as a Fanuc or a KUKA, Motomon, whatever, to hold a 3D scanner of some sort and automate the scanning process. And we're really seeing, and the automation is kind of really the key here. I mean, typically when we think of 3D scanning, everybody's seen them, they've been around for a long time, but typically you have an operator holding the scanner, moving it around, so they're automating that.
Yeah, but not right. Using robotics for that has really changed the game for a lot of these companies, and we've seen it. I mean, Nikon, API, we're going to be talking to Ron Hicks in a moment from API, Hexagon, Faro, Creeform, a lot of the companies that we work with that you'll see in Quality Digest online and on the show and in our Quality Digest daily e-newsletter. A lot of those companies you'll see are doing this and taking advantage of these opportunities to really change the game in manufacturing.
And it's being noticed actually by market researchers. I just had a call from a market researcher that was doing research, financial research, to kind of gauge what's going on in the 3D measurement market specifically. And one of the things he pointed out is like, wow, yeah, I see a lot of attaching, the way he put it, attaching 3D measurement equipment to robots. Mm-hmm. And when you start to see the market researchers start pointing that out, you know that there's something going on, and they're taking notice, and they want to notice who is, who are the players out there who are doing that. And we just mentioned like probably 5 of the biggest ones that are doing this. So there's really, and you wonder why you would do this. It's pretty self-explanatory. Is really, if you're talking about handheld 3D scanning, it works great, but it's kind of a slow process, not really set up for repetitive, let's say, inline process or assembly line operations, where you're going to do the same type of measurement over and over and over again. So, for instance, on an auto manufacturing line, there are scanners holding robots holding line scanners, for instance, to do gap and flush measurement, to just automate gap and flush using some sort of line scanner or gap and flush
takes the human element out of it. Takes those errors away from it as well.
Less variable.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to be here again for all week, and the next couple of days we'll be bringing you shows, and we'll be talking to you about just these kind of trends in manufacturing, so you can tune in here every day and check it out. All right. Well, many of the trends that we just chatted about and are found literally, I think, everywhere you look here at IMTS are also embodied in the newest endeavor of our good friends, their good partners, the Coordinate Metrology Society, and this is the Precision Path Consortium for Advanced Manufacturing, which is a great endeavor of the CMSC, something they've been working on for a couple of years. And right here in this, which is the latest segment of our regular CMSC Corner feature, we're really pleased to be joined by Ron Hicks of Automated Precision Inc. Ron also holds the title of Chairman of the Precision Path Consortium on the CMS, the Coordinate Metrology Society side. So Ron, welcome back to Quality Digest Live. We've had you on the show a couple of times, so it's great to have you back.
Hello guys, thank you very much for having me.
It's our pleasure to have you. Well, let's talk a little bit further about some of these trends that we're seeing in advanced manufacturing, and how the Precision Path Consortium really addresses that, and why the Precision Path Consortium was formed to address that.
Well, the Precision Path Consortium was basically put in place to improve our metrology, our large-scale metrology here in the United States, to make us more competitive. So that's really what it's all about. It's our competitiveness abroad. So we're really trying to be innovative and use our technology to the best we can, and just improve.
Yeah, and I think it's really important. I mean, the meeting that you guys have, and you're having regular meetings throughout the year since this consortium was formed. The latest one was just at CMSC. We were
That's
there
correct,
with you in Nashville a couple of months ago. So what came out of that meeting, the latest meeting that you guys had?
Well, the current, where we're at with Precision Path now, we're working very closely with the University of North Carolina in Charlotte. They're really leading the effort to roadmap our processes, where we are with portable coordinate metrology throughout into industry, where the OEMs are, and just try to get a broad swath of all of the users, the managers, the OEMs, everybody, and what everybody thinks about the different positions we have in metrology today.
Right.
So it's a roadmap, basically. We're working through that right now.
Gotcha. Now, one thing that you're doing, I know, and I actually just grabbed these, and you all should check these out. We're giving these away actually in our booth, and we've been handing them out throughout the floor. You guys are doing an interesting survey. You're surveying industry professionals right now to ask them about their needs and how the consortium can maybe help them. So what's that survey all about?
Well, the survey is really over right now, and we had it at CMSC. We had a large audience there, as you know, of all the right people. So we've been running the survey now for several months, and we're just trying to get a broad idea of what people think of our current state of affairs in metrology. So we're really working on the final report now, and when that comes up, we're going to share it, obviously, and we think it's going to be some very enlightening information in there. So stay tuned.
Well, I've got a quick question. Is as somebody who's part of the Precision Path Consortium and also a company that manufactures 3D measurement equipment, what is your impression of what's going on with the manufacturing market? I mean, does that seem to be, is it stale? Does it seem to be growing? Is it minimizing? What kind of growth are you guys seeing, if any?
Well, I think it's growing, and everything I read, it's growing globally. So we have to work really hard here in the United States to keep that up and address all what everybody needs to do their jobs. But we're seeing a lot of things moving to robotics. You just talked about that a minute ago. Scanning, scanning is non-contact, basically, is where everybody wants to go. We see that, and certainly the current methods aren't going away. The laser trackers and the tactile measurements are not going away, but everybody wants to do things easier, quicker, faster. So we're trying to help address that.
Okay, thanks.
And and in terms of the consortium now, what's going forward? What are you looking to be doing? Do you have more meetings coming up this year?
We have a meeting coming up next month in Charlotte, and we hope to have our road mapping report completed for that, and we expect to, just keep on moving. We've split our committee up. We've asked for more members, so if anybody's interested in joining our committee or our consortium, please reach out to me. But we've split up duties and tried to form subcommittees, if you will, to look at various areas of once we have a roadmap process in place, what do we have to do to better organize and understand where we are as an industry? What can we go back and tell our OEMs? What does the industry want? And what's the directions we really need to be in?
And again, that's www.precisionpathconsortium.com.
That's correct.
If people want to check that out and look at how they can maybe join and be part of this. And UNC Charlotte is a big partner in this as well,
Absolutely.
really on the academic side.
Those guys are great,
Yep.
and we're partnered with them. The CMSC is partnered with them, and they bring a lot of validity and help to that. So we're really happy to be with them.
And Ron, I just want a little bit more clarification. I mean, sometimes I get a little scattered on what Precision Path, what the ultimate goal is you're trying to ascertain what the needs are of large volume manufacturing in terms of measurement. Is that a simple way of putting it?
Yeah, pretty much. We're really wanting to know what the current state is right now across the United States. And once we define what the current state is, we obviously want to understand what the needs are. And we have the consortium has OEMs, manufacturers, large scale. We have Boeing, we have Lockheed, we have Northrop Grumman, we have automotive, we have Faro, Hexagon, API, my company. So we have a lot of great people and great minds, and we're really addressing in one room what the needs are moving forward.
And when you say current state, you mean the type of equipment that's being used in large volume, or
equipment, software, and what the needs are. What's the needs? If we need to measure something large scale, for instance, and we need to measure it more accurately than we've ever done, or faster, or less costly than we've ever done, we want to be able to understand the current state so we can help manufacturers do these things in the future that they really need to do.
And by that, do you mean let the manufacturers know what technology is out there, or let the companies like API, Faro, Hexagon, et cetera, know what kind of equipment is needed to be developed, for instance?
I think it's a tremendous benefit for all of our OEMs to fully understand at a corporate level what the customer or the industry needs. And they're going to be able to get a very good view of that from this consortium, because we have such a very good cross-section across many industries. So we feel like we're in a very good position to do that and make a difference.
Okay, Ron, thanks.
Great. Well, Ron Hicks, thanks for joining us on the show today here at IMTS. This is exactly the kind of thing that's going on at IMTS. A lot of interesting ideas. If you come to this show, you're going to see people like Ron Hicks, and you're going to have a chance to really understand where this industry of ours is going and the issues that are involved, and have a chance to talk to colleagues. It's really important. A very collegial atmosphere here, of course, at IMTS. All right, well, thanks, Ron, for joining us, and we're going to move on now because we have a really good tech corner for you here from our host, and our host is of course 3D Systems, and we're going to be showing it to you. As we mentioned at the top of the show, we have a tech corner here that Dirk is going to be bringing you, and he's with Mike Sang.
Thanks, Mike. So we're here in the 3D Systems booth with Scott Green, and we're going to take a look at, I believe it's Geomagic Control X, is that right?
Yep, that's correct. So today we're showcasing not only Geomagic Control X, but the rest of our software solutions here at the booth. Geomagic Control X is especially exciting for us because it's the latest generation of our Geomagic Control quality control software. So when developing this software, we try to keep in mind some really fundamental pieces of the inspection process, that being the measurement process, the process of understanding those measurements, and how do you communicate those to all the different stakeholders. So there are several features that we're highlighting today, specifically for the measurement process. We have brand new CAD-aware dimensioning that allows us to directly place dimensions and define inspection models directly on top of the CAD, as well as a fantastic live probing and live scanning and live alignment tools that Mike is going to talk about and show. So this is interactive probing tools that allow us to work with portable CMMs in a pre-planned or unplanned kind of casual way. For the understanding part of the software process, We've developed a multiple results and project kind of system, which allows you to define the same inspection model and look at different parts or series of parts graphically right next to each other to really understand how different alignment scenarios may affect your results. And then for the communication portion, we have a new view style reports, which allow us to take really control over the custom viewpoints and how we put those into a reporting environment and make them look exactly like or as close as possible to prints. And then I think we'll look maybe a little bit at Mike's demo.
Okay, that sounds good.
Let's switch to screen share. Okay. So Mike's going to start the live inspect process, which calls up the pre-planned inspection routine and allows him to, in any order he wants to, measure the faces that are highlighted or the points that are indicated. Now, we suggest the order to define the alignment using his adaptive alignment tool. The next thing we'll do is either a datum alignment or go directly into the inspection process. Now, the inspection scenario can be not only, again, pre-planned, but it could also just be called what we do call a walk-up inspection. And walk-up inspection is more like I have a print or a part or maybe some loose requirements, and I just want to start measuring it. It's kind of like a gauging tool. Not so much a tool for repeated inspection, though you can repeat it. It's more flexible inspection and repeatable.
Now I noticed that as he's taking measurements, that different parts of the CAD here are highlighted in blue. That's what's guiding him through the inspection process, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Great point. Visually, graphically, we can see either edges or faces that we need to go attack first, and we also suggest an order on how you go attack those faces. Yep.
So that way we know that the user is going to do these in where it matters, is going to do it in the proper order.
Yeah, correct. Also, we have the ability to switch between not only tactile measurement, but also measurement with a laser line scanner or any other ultimate additional sensor that's on the arm at any time. So I can switch between the two modes of measurement, and then also after the fact, I can decide if I have probe data and non-contact data that inhabit the same space on the same feature. I can choose the priority. What's first? Do I choose probe data or do I choose the laser scan data to evaluate my feature?
So you're saying in the middle of a measurement, well, I see. I guess you just answer my question because he's doing it now. You could switch from contact to non-contact. Now, would that include changing a probe head if you had to do that, or does it have? In this case, they're both on the same head. But would it have to be that way?
Yeah, no, sure. You could actually stop at any point in time and restart your inspection process if you had to dock the arm and change your probe.
Oh, okay.
So it's a repeatable inspection process that, again, you can use both contact and non-contact methods interchangeably.
Okay, sorry, I interrupted you right in the middle of your talk.
Okay, that's all right.
So what else we got going here? Reports, I'm imagining?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So Mike will show probably a little bit of our flexible reporting system, which is actually really interesting. You can choose our kind of wizard, which allows us to define, kind of standard format for the report, and you can report against different projects. So let's say I have one inspection model and data from 10 different days or 10 different parts. I can take that series of data and actually interleave the results on each other to report it concisely in a compact format, all right next to each other. Whereas before, you'd have to take 10 Excel files, cut and paste stuff all together, and do, hack it all together in Word. So what we try to do is account for the fact that you may have requirements that might go outside of a single part project.
So I was going to say, how might this be used? Kind of this not having to cut and paste. I mean, what does this allow you to do now that maybe you couldn't do before? Would have been a little bit more difficult to do before.
Yeah, sure. So this is he's referring to our multi-result system, which allows you to. It's basically like a container of projects, and I can choose those projects and inspect them, and I can also put them all in the same report. So, for the application of multiple result system, it could be two parts that touch each other, and I could show the report on the report the interface between the two parts. It could be the same part but different days, different scans. It could also be the same part but different alignments too. So let's say I use a datum alignment and my feature fails or my feature passes. I could also investigate what happens if I adjust my shrink back or adjust my pairing parameters or maybe use a slightly different alignment. Then I can see how that would actually affect my results, because it certainly will affect your results. And what we try to do is show the traceability and the transparency and let the user go into the details and understand root cause of the process error.
Okay, so and I'm guessing this might be able to help in the design phase, prototype phases as well, kind of decide what might work, what approach might work better. Would that make sense, or is this really more on the production end?
Yeah, no, that's actually an interesting point. So as far as working out root cause and root cause issues, that could also be in production. So inspection is not only just repeating the same part over and over and over again, it's also when you have an error and you have a problem, what caused that problem? how do you dig into the problem? How do you dig into the problem and decompose it and find a solution? With a lot of inspection workflows, it's very part driven, and you just get what you get out. But what we want to try to do is give tools to help you really decompose the issue, understand the connection between the data points, understand why that number became what it is, and then let you do something about it.
Okay, now back to the reports again. Are these basically canned reports, or are they customizable? Can the user kind of determine what they want to put in a report and so forth, or is it all templatized?
No, that's a great question, actually. So the default workflow is just a really simple reporting tool. It assumes that you want to report the things that you've measured, and it gives you a standard order. But more advanced reporting concepts include just starting with a blank template, and then using our model manager system, you can select an item that you'd like to report, and then you can select from many reportable things. So I can drag and drop reportable items into my report, but also I can custom fill a template so that I can repeat that inspection over and over again. So custom values, custom tables, not just the things that we suggest that you report.
Okay, so if I was going to ask you, what are the kind of the 3 or 4 top key features that you see of Geomagic Control X? What would they be?
Yeah, sure. So I think the key thing to remember is that Control X is a simply powerful metrology software. We wanted to try to bring a new version of the software to the market that, again, brought those same 3 things to the market, which were measurement, clearer measurement, better understanding, and tools to understand your data, and the ability to communicate those tools and communicate those results to many types of stakeholders. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Scott Green, thanks for taking the time with us.
Thanks, Ed.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, well, there we go. That's our tech corner there. Dirk and Scott Green, Mike Sang of Geomagic, 3D Systems, I should say, using the Geomagic Control X software, I believe, is the product there that we were looking at. So I appreciate Dirk doing that. Dirk, good job, of course, as always, with those tech corners you do.
I was kind of throwing a lot of last-minute questions there at Scott, but he was a trooper. He took them.
Yeah, and I think he did a great job, because I think that is actually debuting right here, officially debuted just yesterday here at the show for the first time. So I think that really, really good, interesting first look at Geomagic Control X.
It's always funny when they're previewing somebody's previewing a new product, because very often the presenters will be seeing it for the first time. That wasn't, and so it's like, okay, Scott, so you're going to present this product that you've never seen before. Learn something about it really fast.
Right. But excellent job there by all involved. Mike Sang, of course, Scott Green, and Dirk, very good there. All right, well, we're coming up to the end of the show, but before we close it out, we'd like to, of course, give thanks to our sponsors. This, as we mentioned, 3D Systems. They provide comprehensive 3D products and services, including 3D printers, print materials, on-demand parts services, and digital design tools. The company's ecosystem supports advanced applications from the product design shop to the factory floor to the operating room. 3D Systems' precision healthcare capabilities include simulation, virtual surgical planning, and printing of medical and dental devices, as well as patient-specific surgical instruments. As the originator of 3D printing and shaper of future 3D solutions, 3D Systems has spent its entire 30-year history enabling professionals and companies to optimize their designs, transform their workflows, bring innovative products to market, and drive new business models. So, for more information on this company, visit online at www.3dsystems.com. And yes, of course, we thank everyone involved for having us here at the show.
Yeah, and be sure to come by the booth if you're here at the show. So we have 2 more. This was the first of 3 episodes.
That's right. That's
right. Doing here live at the show. The next 2 QDLs, we have one tomorrow, broadcasting from the Nikon booth. That's E5060, E5060, if you happen to be here. And we're going to be looking at 2 pieces of 3D measurement equipment. But the one we're going to do live is the Nikon's robot-mounted laser radar device. Remember earlier we talked about
that,
robotics, and so in this case what they've done is they've taken their laser radar, mounted it on a robot arm, and we're going to see what you can do with that. And then on Thursday we're going to be at the MAR Federal booth, that is booth E5614, to take a peek at some of their surface and form measurement equipment. So be sure to tune in Wednesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 Eastern, to take a look at, hey, what's going on new in the world of metrology.
Yeah, we're going to see you there. We're going to be here again all week, so we'll bring you the show again tomorrow. We'll do a little bit more looking at some technologies, again, of course, with the tech corners, but we'll also kind of just wrap a little bit with you about what we're seeing, so you there at home, if you're not here, can get a little bit of a flavor of IMTS. We love doing this every couple of years. Be here, and thanks again to all you for joining us. Thanks to Ron Hicks for joining us on the show earlier.
Precision Path Consortium.
And of course, one more big shout out and thank you to 3D Systems. Thank you for having us here.
Taking over the booth.
That's right. Let us take over your booth for a little while. So
right.
we'll see you all later. See you tomorrow for another episode here of Quality Digest Live.
See you then.